Hello, and welcome to another video for our Next Level Connections series of training videos. This video will discuss the Household Line Extension Program application process. The Household Line Extension Program is a self-registration program. Individual households will have to go online and register for access to the portal. Once they have access to the portal, they'll be able to log in and submit applications. If you've seen some of our other videos where the programs had a first login experience that collected additional information about the applicant. The Household Line Extension program does not have that feature. So once registered for access to the portal applicants will come directly to the home screen to immediately start working on their application. This home screen looks a little bit different than our other applications if you've been seeing those videos, in that it has only a single go button to go and create an application. That's for a couple of reasons. One is this particular application portal is optimized for use on mobile devices and will display correctly on mobile devices to allow households to enter their application information from a mobile device as well as from a web device like I'm using here. Additionally, this household line extension program only allows one application per household. So there's not a tile to go to manage additional applications. After registering for access to the portal, the users will be able to come to the home screen and click the Go button to either create an application if none exists, or the Go button will open their existing application if it has not yet been submitted. So let's take a look at an existing application and go through the information that's being collected. Click the Go button, and since I already have an application in progress, you'll see the application display automatically. Again, there's only one application allowed per household, so there's never going to be a menu from this screen that shows access to multiple applications. The application menu provides three sections that need to be completed by the applicant. There's a personal information section, a broadband internet information section, and an affidavit section. Let's take a look at the personal information section. Click Go to access the form. Initially, you'll see here that there's a contact first name, last name, email, and phone number set of fields. We will be pre-populating the first name and last name fields and the email field from the information that the applicant supplied when they registered for access to the portal. They can overwrite the first name and last name here with a different value for this application. It does not change the registration information, just changes the information here for submitting the application. We've left the household email as read-only on the application, primarily because the email address is used as the login ID for the portal login that the applicant registered with, and we didn't want to cause confusion by allowing them to change the email address here and think that that is a way to change their login ID email address as well. So it's read-only and pulled from their profile. If they need to change their email information, they would need to contact the Help Center and have the Help Center assist them in updating their email for their login. The phone number field will be blank when they initially come in. We are asking them to populate that as part of the application. The applicant will also need to provide a household address. All the fields will need to be filled in, including making a selection from the county pick list. Additionally, the applicant will need to go out to the Indiana Legislative District's website. There's a web address here taking them to the website where they can enter their household address, and it will provide them the Senate district and House district numbers that are associated to their household address. They will need to retype their household address at this website, as currently we are not passing household address information through to this website. Once they've entered the correct Indiana Senate and Indiana House District numbers, they can move on and indicate whether they own or rent at this particular address. If they select rent, they'll be presented with three other fields to enter property owner information. We're asking that they provide the name of the property owner, either the organization or the person's name, and the property owner's phone number. The property owner's email is optional, and if they know it, they can add it in here. Additionally, we're going to ask if they are in a multi-unit building, and that's a simple yes or no question. Also, they need to enter the number of people that are currently in the household and the number of K through 12 students in the household as well. They're not required to have K through 12 students in the household for this program. If they don't have any K through 12 students in the household, they need to enter 0 because that field is required to save and complete this section. And they also need to provide any additional comments that will help Okra in determining their eligibility for the household for this particular program. So there's a text box here that the user can explain any additional information that they see necessary. Once they're completed on this form, they click Next to return to the main menu. Let's take a look at the Broadband Internet Information section. Click Go to access that section. On this form, we initially ask them if they have a broadband subscription currently at their address. If they answer yes, we provide a set of fields to allow them to give us more information about that service. They can enter the name of their current broadband provider. It's just a text field. They can enter additional broadband providers that they're aware of that service their current area. We also ask them to identify whether or not they want to keep their current broadband provider, the one that they entered up here. If they answer yes to this question, then Okra will route their application first to their current broadband provider to determine whether or not that provider can offer the services that are being requested. If they answer no to this question, then Okra will route their application to um, all of the broadband providers participating in the household line extension program so that they can bid on providing that service to this address. We also ask the applicant to test their speed results if they have a current broadband access and enter the results of that test here in terms of download and upload speeds. We also ask them to provide their current monthly fee that they're paying for their current broadband service and enter the number of teleworkers that are in the household. And we explain just below that what a teleworker is and how to calculate that number. Once they're done filling out this section, again, they'll click Next to return to the main menu. The final section the applicant needs to complete is the affidavit section. Clicking Go on that menu selection takes us to that form. There's a single field here where they can enter their full name, type in their full name into the field to sign the application. Once they've entered their signature, they click Next to return to the main menu. At this point, if they've entered all the information required on all three sections, they'll show complete as they do here, and the Submit Application button will be available. Clicking the Submit Application button submits the application. It provides a screen that confirms that they have successfully submitted their application. Once they've read this information, they can click on Finish, and it will return them to the home screen. And this time you can see that there is a note there that there are currently no next level connection programs which they're eligible to apply for. And it directs them to the My Applications link to see any applications that they've previously submitted. As we discussed earlier in the video, the household line extension program only allows one application per household. So at this point, they're done with the submission and they can no longer submit any more applications for this program. Let's take a look at creating a new household line extension program application. So this simulates now an applicant who has recently signed up for the portal and has not yet created an application. I'm going to click on Go, and you'll see that the system automatically creates an application and provides the main menu for the applicant to complete entering information. So let's walk through each one of the sections and see what they look like with no information. As you can see, On the personal information section, the first name, last name, and email are filled in for the client, which comes from the profile that they provided when they registered for the program. They would need to enter their phone number to complete this section. And you can see that the required field goes away in that case that was up here in the corner. And the additional fields that are required in the application are represented by additional notations on the right-hand side here. All of the address fields are required for the applicant to complete to clear this required section. They have to provide a county. They need to enter their Indiana Senate and House district numbers after looking them up on this website. The rent or own question is here as well. Initially, we saw in the completed application that it was listed as rent, which displayed the extra 3 fields for adding information about the property owner. If they select own, they don't have to enter any additional information at that point, and the required information is cleared. And if it's a multi-unit building, again, a simple yes or no question. The number of people in the household, the number of K through 12 students is required on the application, but as I stated earlier, it's not required for eligibility in the program. So we indicate that they should enter 0 here if they don't have any K through 12 students, so that that required field is filled. And then they can add additional information if they see necessary, and that field's not required. I'm going to go ahead and leave these blank for now and move on to the next section. When they first enter the broadband internet information section, you can see that the first question they're asked is whether or not they have a subscription at their address currently. If they answer no, then they are requested to supply some information about why they cannot get access. Either it's not available, not afforded, or other. If they select other, then a text field does become required for them to complete this section as well, but the rest of the section information is optional. They can add a list of broadband providers that they're aware of that maybe service their area, and then they can also enter information about how many teleworkers are in the household. As you saw on the completed application, if they answer yes to this, there's additional fields that display to allow them to enter information about their current broadband service. And finally, the affidavit section comes up and simply asks for their signature. They'll need to type one in using their full name. I'm just using a placeholder here, and then click on next. The applicant does have the ability to see the application that they submitted using the My Applications tab. After clicking on the My Applications tab, they'll have a list of the application that they sent in, showing its current status. They'll be able to click on the unique name for that application and display a read-only version of the information that they submitted to Okra for review. The top part of the application form here shows the information about the application itself, application name, status, and the contact information that was provided when the applicant registered. It provides all of the information that was submitted with the application, the personal information section, the broadband internet information section, and the affidavit section are all represented. There are no related items for this application, so even though there's a related tab, there'll be no information displayed there. And there is a printable view available for the application as well. Clicking on that button presents a version of the application that's suitable for printing, and they can use this screen to print this form or close the window once they're done printing. And that concludes this video. Thank you for watching.